One of the hottest teams in football, certainly the New Orleans Saints. They had won 8 in a row and were coming home to chew on the Green Bay Packers and to try and keep the heat on the San Francisco 49ers, because the Saints still alive as far as an NFC Western crown is concerned. And Saints fans, this has all been new to them this year. But with the Packers trailing 3-0 in the first quarter, Don Mahowski hit Walter Stanley for a touchdown. Mahowski, the rookie, looked fine. So did Stanley. There was one. Now watch the screen to Stanley and the hot moves past the entire Saint defense. 39 yards for the score, and in the end zone with the hottest moves yet. Is this Ozzie Smith? Well, almost. Touchdown, and it's 14-3 Pack. But he got a 5-yard penalty for celebrating, Tom.
I think, you know, they need to remember that this is the entertainment business, and this is the most fun that was had in this game.
Well, Stanley enjoyed it because they led 14-3, but in the first quarter and a half alone, Morton Anderson kicked 4 field goals, this one from 52 yards out. The NFC Pro Bowl kicker, and why not? He had 28 field goals this year. 121 points was the most of all the kickers this year. The NFL record, 35, and remember that in a 16-game season, Morton only played 12 this year. Third quarter, the game is seesawing, but when Reuben Mays gets around Norman Jefferson right there and scores from 3 yards out, the Saints forge in front of the Packers 19-17. But a 90-yard drive by the Pack who would not die, wearing number 5 and looking like Paul Hornung, was Mahowski. And on this play, 85 is not Max McGee, it's Phil Epps. Touchdown, 20 yards, the Packs lead 24-19. But Dalton Hilliard does it in the backfield this year, and he does it on the kickoff return. Dalton Hilliard makes the turn and returns it 74 yards till he's knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Then New Orleans goes ahead for good from the 5, Bobby Hebert, to John Tice, and this is the new touchdown turner. 15 catches this year, 6 of them for touchdowns. Every 2.5 receptions, it's a touchdown. Saints get tough down the stretch with Green Bay threatening. Brett Maxey lowers the boom. Saints recover the fumble, and we go from New Orleans from maybe the ridiculous to perhaps the sublime, the Benson Boogie for the 9th straight week, as the New Orleans Saints have won 9 in a row, 12-3 going to the playoffs. Well, we knew that a long time ago for the first ever time, as the Saints beat the Packers by 9, 33-24. And after the game, the way it had gone, Jim Morris said he was relieved just to come up with a victory.
I think it would have been a little bit of a downer had we have lost this one, even though it may not have changed anything as from the standpoint of going into the playoffs or how we played next week. I think just being able to win this one means a lot to this football team.
Down at the half were the Saints, and they came back against a team they should have come back against, but you know, with the playoffs already sewed up, some of these games sometimes slip by the wayside. The Saints have been winning all the time, Tom.
Well, and I think Mora prevented that. The sign of how good a team is or how far they've come many times is what they do at halftime. They obviously made adjustments, came out basically and played harder. I think Mora suggested to them that something was on the line.
Yeah, on the line, and they still can win the NFC West if the Niners lose. Ricky Jackson played well, had 3 sacks today, but at times, actually, the Saints were spotty. Their offense looked a little shaky at times, and Mahowski at times did look like Paul Hornung.
Well, yes, they did make him look a little like that. The Saints, as good as their streak has been, I still have a question. They're a team that's there for the first time is still susceptible to emotional ups and downs. 2 weeks in a row now, they've played bad teams and gotten way behind in the first half. Now, obviously, if you go in a playoff, you can't do that against the Bears or the Niners or the Redskins. Perhaps they can do it if they end up as the wild card. They might be able to spot Minnesota a few points because at the end, they've still got Jerry Burns. The difference between Jerry Burns and Jim Mora is only one of them is Coach of the Year. I'll let you figure that one out.
And while you think about that little choice, we will be back to show you the rest of Week 16. But take a look at what the Saints winning has come from this year. Primetime continues in just a moment when we take a look at some titanic tilts involving stellar ball clubs.